Hasta la vista, baby.
The trouble with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
When things look bad, and it looks like you're not gonna make it, then you gotta get mean. I mean plumb mad dog mean. Because if you lose your head and you give up, then you neither live nor win. That's just the way it is.
Your assignment tonight is strategic. You can't give the enemy a break. Send them to hell.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Well, here we go again, folks. Good morning. Welcome back to VP4 TV. Welcome to LS3. Welcome to Nika. We've already had a result this morning in the VP4 2023 Virtual 9-Ball World Championships. It was a match that was played a few hours ago, and it was a one-loss side match between Real Poland Power Stub against Linus. It was always going to be a win for Stub, but not all that impressive. He probably lost a few more racks than he should have if he'd been actually playing the table rather than just playing the player and not fully focusing on the job in hand. He got through, I think it was 13 racks to 6 or 7 or something like that. Let's have a look. Now where the hell's he disappeared to? Is he up top? Yeah, he got through 13-6, and so he's got another match that should be, again, I would expect it to be a fairly comfortable win for him against Rabbi. But if you look at the actual bracket and the way the one-loss side could go, and this is all, I mean, Mr. Fox has sometimes forfeited matches where he's not shown up. But provided he stays in for the next 2 matches, he's going to have he should have a comfortable win against Simax. We'll give him that. It might not be quite as comfortable against Hazard, because Hazard's certainly more capable of taking racks off him. But if he comes through that, then Stubbs going to get his next big test if he's lining up to play Mr. Fox. So Stubbs he's definitely going to have to up his game because again he played the player for the player's level. He didn't play the game, and that's what you should be doing. No matter who you're playing, you just play to bury them. And Stubb was. I mean, I didn't see all of the match. I saw the end of it. But if you want to watch it, it's on Slim's channel on Twitch. Slim was streaming it this morning, and you can judge for yourself the standard that Stubb is at. Now, this is our first match today. There's another match on, and of course, it's the big one. If you're in Sweden, that is. We've got the match between Albinario and Bedhead, which is a round 3 match, or Bedhead and Albinario as it shows in the bracket. And that is going to be at 7 PM tonight. I'll be there for that. Steve said he's going to join. quick look. In fact, what I should do is let me just try this. Hang on. Go back to the lobby. And we've got 4 matches on the schedule. And this is the first one. Then we've got the Albinario Bedhead match. Then we have LS3 Inspector Dawn, which is, when's that? Is that Wednesday night? I can't read that text. It's going up the screen too quick. There we go. I'll wait until it comes back round. Yeah, LS3 Spectre Dawn on Wednesday at 8 PM. Of course, I'm going to be there for that match. I'm off all week now. I don't go back to a week today. And then the final one that's on there is Polka Bouter and Brain Fallout, which is Thursday at 10 PM. And that's a winner's side match as well. So there's the 4 matches. The matches will begin to thin out, of course, as we go later into the tournament. I think we had 10 on the schedule a day or so ago, but those results have gone through. Going back to the bracket, we saw, we know that we've got the Bedhead Albinario match. We've got MC Clarkey lined up to play, Larry lined up to play the winner of the Bedhead Albinario match. And then further down, we have this one that's going to go in a minute or two. And then the other one we mentioned, LS3 Spectre Dawn. And then, of course, further down we have the winner of the match yesterday. One Pocket Slim is through. He beat Chimpy 19 racks to 13. And Chimpy had the lead early on, but Slim used his experience to work his way back into it. I locked Chimpy up for a fair section of that match and won out reasonably comfortably in the end, 6 racks to spare. And then further down you've got the Polka Bouter Brain Fallout match, and Bankster has gone through against Hazard. Now, if you didn't see the Bankster Hazard match, that was the match that was in between Albinario and Slim's match with Chimpy and Bill's match on the one loss side, and so we covered a fair chunk of this match, and I have to say that Bankster was very impressive, really at the business end of that match. I mean, he won a whole stack of racks to race away from Hazard in the end. It was neck and neck for, I think it was like 13 apiece or something. And Bankster came on strong when it mattered, and I was well impressed with how he finished off. So he's through. The bad news for Bankster, though, is that he's lined up to play semi-pro. And, Bankster's good enough to be taking racks off anybody if he's given the chance. And he can certainly build on that performance that he finished off Hazard with. So, big step up for Bankster. And then we've got Bill now going to line up to play Chimpy, who, of course, moved across. Bill having gone through against Tommy, 13 racks to 11 last night. Tommy didn't really get things going very well, but it still had a sort of mini comeback where he just threatened to get into Bill, but not quite. So Bill and Chimpy should be a good close match as well. How long have we got left? We've got another couple of minutes left before I start. I keep ranting on and on. Then further up we've got Jover, who has gone through from a Quagmire forfeit. I don't know the story behind that, other than the fact that, according to Steve, there was no proposal sent in that match until last night, which was way too late. So Jover now plays Paul on the one loss side. And then further up, we've got Hazard, who has moved across. And of course, as I mentioned earlier with the stub match, you've got Mr. Fox playing Simanx. And Mr. Fox should come through that, and then he'll play Hazard to see then who's going to play Stub. If Stub goes through. That's basically how that looks. So that is us up to date as far as matches go. Now, I haven't seen Rosin play now. Both players are in rooms, they're getting a bit of practice in, so I haven't seen Rosin at all. Good morning to Slim and anybody else that I've missed. And welcome to Mark. But I notice, looking at let me go back to the bracket, because Rosin took out, I was surprised at the result against Potman. Now, Potman must have been really bad, or Rosin was really good. One of the two. Because he pummeled Potman. I missed that match. Where the hell is it in the bracket again? Yeah, look at that for a result. 19 racks to 6 against Potman. Potman must have been incredibly poor, or Rosin was really quite hot. And then, of course, he falls over the line in the round 2 match against Graceley, final rack decider. But his big test now, of course, is he's up against a champion in every sense of the word. So I will reserve judgment until I've caught a sight of him, and we'll soon find out what level he's playing at. So the room will be going up in about probably 30 to 45 seconds time. We're just nudging the top of the hour. Cobra's ready to go. He's out of the room, waiting in the room going up. Well, you remember him as Jack Wilson, Slim. I remember him as what was that? You remember that TV serial that was on? Oh sugar, what was it called? Well, Mal's arrived in the lobby. I don't know how long he's in. In fact, Mal's disappeared because he's probably getting an update for VP4. I remember him as Falconetti? Mark will remember what I'm talking about because he's old enough. Rich Man, Poor Man. I've got that in DVD. I've got the box set of the DVD of that, Rich Man, Poor Man, which was a TV drama, and that was really the first time I saw him. What was his name again? That was his character name. You don't remember? And I remember who the father of the two brothers were in the serial. Ed Asner. I think that was. I think I'm right in saying that. You can go and Google it, but I'm sure Ed Asner was their father. There was the two brothers, and Falconetti was the bad guy. Right, the room is up. In fact, the match will be started. That's what happens again when I start ranting. Right. So, Rosin has won the lag. But again, he's got a 2,100 rating, but that means nothing until we've seen how he plays. So, race to 19. William Smith, he's passed away as well now. He died a few years ago. In fact, the leader of the Black Widows, he died a few years ago as well. Clint's about the only one left standing because, of course, his girlfriend at the time, she's dead as well now. Her that was in Outlaw Josie Wales, whose name escapes me. Do you remember, was it Every Which Way But Loose or Any Which Way You Can, where Grandma tried to pick up a boyfriend? Remember the character that was the boyfriend in that? He was in a lot of John Wayne films. He's an old actor. He'll be long gone now as well. But he's an old actor that got bit parts in John Wayne films. Well, Cobra's tried to nip away and get distance there. Now, there is enough room just to feather this 2-ball and try and get away. Now, that wasn't the best idea. I think Rosin might have been better to have a good look at that and try and get away from that 2-ball. Good morning to Mooncake. Early start, but as I say, I think I woke up at about 7:30 this morning, which was actually a long lie for me. And I knew that the stub match was started, and when I saw Slim was in the room, I thought he's probably streaming it. So that was a long night's sleep for me, unusual. But it was like a 5-hour stint yesterday, so I was knackered, so no wonder I slept. Well, we know where that's going. It's an early outing for Monkey Boy. Well, you know what my theory is about this game, and it's something I've always droned on about, is getting your mouse really dialed in, where you know you'll get very good odds of executing a shot. Much better control of the cue ball is helped very much by tinkering with your mouse and doing a bit of testing. And the one way I've always tested is either lagging up and down in the snooker table or lagging up and down in the 9-foot table and trying to nail that cue ball regularly to the bottom rail. And then if you're not doing it, or you're over hitting it, or you're under hitting it, then you just tweak the sensitivity up or down a notch and work with that for a little while. But I think one of the big secrets is having your mouse properly dialed in until you have this comfortable setting where it's a sort of instinctive thing about weight of shot and things like that. Of course, the rest of it is the more complicated part, how you manoeuvre the cue ball, but spending time maybe tweaking the mouse, because you might go on for months and years playing VP4 and sort of hovering around a similar level, and then that little tweak can help your game. So, first blood to Cobra, and no joy whatsoever. I might, I don't know whether this is a billiard or not. Yes, it is. And that's the other problem. So, I don't know whether if Rosin had dug into the cue ball there, he could have spun off that 6-ball and come out of the pocket. But Cobra's going to have to spin up the rail here. Yeah, he's just got a little touch, and I don't think it's done him any good. No, it really doesn't. LS3. I mean, every mouse I'm using at the moment is all cheap. What I tend to find is that the more expensive mice with the multiple DPIs, and of course, you've also got to bear in mind, this is why you have to experiment. I keep saying it. It's not just about tweaking the sensitivity of the mouse. You've got to watch what settings you've got VP4 set to. Now, when I say that, I always advise people to. I mean, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm experimenting with my mouse setting, and I've got the English setting. But I haven't got it back to pivot English. I never set that to pivot English. I actually set that off. I went to not pivot English. I went to what's the one that is the it's the none. I had it set to none. I don't know why that's defaulted to pivot, because I was testing it with none. Maybe I'll tell you why it's done that, because we had an update this morning, and that's maybe, I don't know, it might have reset it. But that's the old VP3 style with none. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? That's camera. Oh, aye, this other thing about when, accelerated best fit and all of that stuff. That's the thing you need to also test your DPI settings with, because you'll find that with certain settings in VP4 in conjunction with your mouse, you'll find that the Q stick goes through a bit too quick for you, and you're hitting the ball too heavy. So again, you have to tweak this advanced setting, I think it is, in the mouse settings, and then test that as well. So there's lots that you can do in order to try and dial your mouse in even better. But you have to spend the time to do it. It's boring doing it, but you have to do it. And you'll be amazed at how it can probably help your game. I've always found you'll get decent enough results with a cheap mouse. You don't need to spend an absolute fortune for this game. Well, Cobra probably back over near the 9 ball by the look of this, unless he's trying anything fancy. But the normal path would be just back across over towards the 9 ball. Good morning to Repetition. There's only going to be 2 matches today. Good morning to Paul. So 2-0. Free ball on the break. Now the 1 ball will bank past the 4. There is enough room. And it will also thin cut into the side. And if he gets the line right with a thin cut, he'll finish up down here. Let's see what he does. He's going for the thin cut. It needs to have legs though. It needs to have legs. And I think it's hard to say where he was trying to finish, where he was. He might have been trying to finish here for the 2. Or whether he fell short. But he's still got a shot. Albeit it's a wee bit more fiddly. But he just needs to get back over right side, and he can cut that 4 back into the side. And well, he's hung the 2. Now let's see what Rosin is made of, because this is a table that is there for the taking. Now he's got himself a bit straight in a 5, but he can stun out. He's going to leave this long though, probably. And the straighter he goes, the easier just to drop through in the 7. Now I hope for his sake he's not going to be rushing. He just seems to be going a bit too fast for my liking, and that's my first impression. Because that's very liable. I mean, okay, you talk about rhythm, but it's very liable to careless shots. And that's always a worry for me. But we'll reserve judgment. He's took his chance. He's took it well. That's doing what's expected. The error from Cobra was punished. And Rosin's off the mark. 5 ball in the side. 1 ball needs to keep running, and I think it has done. And he's now got, well, he's got 3 balls, 4 balls. Now, had he got a better line than the two, I mean, he still might be able to. Well, he wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking he might be able to hit this with a bit of power and try and get a bump on the 7 and 8 and still be on that 3 ball. It was a bit ambitious in my opinion, doing it, but now he's got to try and do it off the 6. He's only going to get one go at it. Well, he can do it. He can pot the 6 up table and he can get a bump here. Well, it's not easy. It's not a gimme, but he's got the cut. Yeah, you see, there's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, he's just rushing in to play that, and that needed a bit more forethought and setup. And that's a great chance gone. It should have been all square, and stuff like that's not going to do him any good. It's just never a good sign when I see players, you know, desperate just to pop balls. And there's the unexpected error from Cobra, so he's getting another go at it. But if I was going to give Rosin advice, it's just when you get to certain shots, just take your time a bit more, because there's you know, there's chances here that you would never expect him to be getting this early on. Three ball on the side. 6 balls going to probably get in the way of this one. Yep. Now, Cobra's probably going to try and skim behind the 6, I would think. I'm guessing that. Let's have a look at how it looks from behind the shot. Well, you see, I think this, even looking at it from here, the 6 ball looks in the way. He's probably going to come the other way. There is the possible bank on. It's going to catch the 2. And in the end, though, he's got mainly what he wanted. Maybe a bit fortunate to get that. Now, if you're going to try and kick the one, you can kick the one from this side, but you need a fair bit of right English to hit that rail and straighten it. Well, he's got the hit, and again, he's got a good result. Oh, that's well done. Now, Cobra's first attempt with the jump cue today, I would think. Now, 5 ball won't be an issue, provided whoever gets there can get on that 4 good enough. Stubbs in the room typing bullshit as usual. And Cobra stunning out far enough for the 4. Now, question is whether he just stuns the 4 in. It's a bit straight. You need to hit this fairly hard. He could try and be cute and come behind the 5 for the 5 in the opposite side pocket, but he looks as if he's going forward just to get out. It might bump into the 7 though, he needs to watch that. He's avoided that, and now he's fairly good. Bit straight, but as long as you can get out far enough on this 6 ball, you should be able to get up top for the 7. And that'll do. Again, got to hit this. Get the draw past the side pocket. Good morning to Larry. Larry's an early bird. So is Slim. Or a midnight owl. So Cobra's getting back into the lead. He'll be looking to get this sort of comfort zone if he can. Well, ball or balls in the break, shot in the 1, and the 2 is going to be tricky. Now, what can you do here to try and get on the 2? Well, it's all about pace because he's got a decent enough angle in the 1. Anywhere over here, over on this line, and that is right on the money. Perfect. He's got a choice. He can just run through, take the 3 long. If he's doing it the other way, he can stun the 2 firm and come that way. He's just rolling through, but must have the angle to get across for the 5. And that'll be good enough. Although he's going to be running away from the 5. But I don't think that'll be a problem. 6 is handy, 7's handy as well, so he's definitely going to be out here. So the follow-up break and run is exactly what Cobra wanted. Again, he could have done with going much straighter in this 5 ball. He's going to come across the 6 now, and he doesn't want to go too square, because the problem with that is he's the wrong angle for the 7. And now he's got big work to do. I mean, I don't believe, is he going to leave the bedhead cut? This cue ball's just going to leak away at this cut angle. He's got to run the cue ball. And there lies the problem, by not getting good on the 6. Well, there is the possible reverse bank in the 7. He might be lining up just a little dink to, he's double kissed it, and he might be getting away with it, and he has done big time. That was lucky. He's had a double kiss there, pushed the 7 behind the 8. Jammy git. Well, that cue ball spinning back into the table, and Cobra's been let off the hook there, but he's had a lucky roll, and now he should have that little 2-rack lead. Well, this match later on today with Albinario and Bedhead, I wonder if, when was the last time you saw Albinario having to work through a 1-loss side? I can't remember. He's maybe lost a hot seat match and then had to win the match to get back into the final, but Albinario's not really been sent to the 1-loss side fairly early in the tournament. I wonder if Bedhead's going to be up to the task later tonight. You would think it's about due, well overdue, that Bedhead can get one over on his fellow Swede. So, Cobra's break, dry, and he just got in behind the 5. 3 ball, quick look at that. And again, the 3 ball cheats the pocket, no problem. What am I talking about? The 2 balls in the way, I never even noticed that was the 2 that was there. That's how early it is for me. But what's Cobra done here? I don't think he can get enough of the 2. He's going to have to duck here, and he's going to have to come behind the 6. And he's avoided the 6, and he's got a pretty good result. Well, I just think that Bedhead's overdue a win here to put Albinaru in the mix on that one loss side. So I'm going to get my prediction out early. I'm going to say 19-16 to Bedhead. There you go. I don't think that prediction's controversial. I think it's a fair prediction, but it's certainly a possibility. 19-16. Now, Cobra is just going to roll through here, I think. I think he's just going to leave enough room to see the 6. And now he might well just jack up a little bit just to stop this cue ball. He looks as if he's going forward, though. He obviously, well, he is doing it. I was thinking if he's going forward, he doesn't want to get near the 9. And now he's got himself slightly hampered, but you just drop this in dead weight, and he's gonna cut the 8 in, and probably have to run the cue ball a wee bit, but that won't be a problem. Just a stun down onto the top rail and back into the table is all that's needed here. So already the alarm bells are ringing here. Cobra settling down for a 3-rack lead. Six ball, top right hand corner. Oh, look at where the 9 ball's finished. Oh, a dodgy shot in the 1 to start off here for Cobra. But that this rack's not going to be too long, I don't think. Now, is he banking the 1 onto the 9? Is he going for the thin cut? He's going for the thin cut. And Rosin, well, it's not going to be easy. The 2 ball is blocked off to 2 pockets, and that 1 ball's right in the corner pocket. You're just hoping to get at least some sort of sight in it. He's going to finish up hook behind the 7 here, I think. Just when he needed a better roll of the ball, he didn't get it. And that's not a high enough angle, so Rosin's not familiar with the jump cue either. That the butt angle in the cue there was nowhere near high enough to execute the jump at that close distance. So the important shot here is from the 3 to the 4, because the 5 will take care of itself with the 9. And I think, after the first 2 or 3 racks, Cobra's has now sort of worked out the capabilities here of his opponent, having seen that jump shot, not well played. And he could have got better on this 4 ball, though. I mean, this is one of these in-between shots, and the scratch is on, and they stuck to the rail. The scratch is on either way, I think, here. He's got to watch. Well, the commentator's eye saw it. And there's a gift there. Cobra took the risk. I mean, I don't think he had much of an option. He had to make sure he went for the pot. But the scratch was on, I think, in either direction, whether he took it into the corner or whether he cut it into the side. And it duly happened. And that was a gift just to keep Rosin in touch. And you see, he didn't get into that enough either. The control here's the one thing that is just letting Rosin down a bit. He's now got no shot. And now he's looking to try and cut into the side. What a result that one was.
Let's watch the replay of that last shot.
Nice cut into the side, always hitting and hoping that you're going to have a shot to follow it up. And he has done. He needs to watch the pace in the cue ball. But that'll do. Not exactly in bedhead territory, but this should be fine if he takes his time. Because he don't really got him down the table too heavy here. And he's overcut it. And he's not got away with it. Quick look at the 5. It's off the rail. You can Cobra see enough? No, you can't. He's hooked. Pretty much almost. Yeah. And Rosin's getting another go here. He got lucky there. He's got a reasonable idea of doing certain shots. You can see that. You know, that stun there to get out. So, you know, it could have turned nasty there. But he's got out of a hole, back to within 1. But looking for that follow-up as everybody does, and I don't think he's got it. Yeah, nothing doing. And again, a fiddly start here for Cobra. This is, it's just, you know, this needs to be executed. He's going to be on the 2. No doubt about that. Had the collision there, took a risk there and getting a shot to follow it up. Going to be a combo in the 5. Just get anywhere up into this half of the table again here for the 3 ball. And the pace looks reasonable enough. No worries about the combo. He's never going to miss that. So again, I think he just wants to come back here and over by the 7 and 8. That way, he's not forced into playing a billiard. He can still play the cut. Just dead weight dink. Well, this is the one that can go wrong. Getting on this 6 ball, I think he's able to pinch an angle in the 4. Now, if he's going to do it one way, it's just coming into the gap here, taking the 6 down. He doesn't want to finish that side, I don't think. And that'll do it. So Cobra's looking like he's going to restore his lead. Good morning to Bankster. Or good evening, depending where you are. As I mentioned, I think I mentioned a few streams ago, don't forget that when the World Snooker Championships are finished in April, in fact, they might even finish in May when I think about it, don't forget that the next week after that, still at the Crucible Theatre, you've got the World Seniors Championships. and Tony Drago has had an invite to participate in it. So it'll be the first time in goodness knows how many years that I'll get to see Tony Drago on a snooker table. I mean, he was always a player that was, well, look at what Cobra's done here. Tony Drago was always a player that would make far too many mistakes at the highest level of the game. But my God, when he's in amongst the balls, I mean, he just does not stop potting. I wonder if he's slowed up any. That's my question. The fastest snooker player you'll ever see. Well, that's a good recovery. A good bank by Rosin, and suddenly we're all square. Couple of balls have gone in. Oh, he's going to be blocked off in this one ball. That's unlucky. Well, he's got a reasonable push here. And again, I think that was a bit unwise. I think he should have played the push out there. He's went for the kick. I sometimes wonder if some players realise that they do have a push option and they know how to do it, because I would have been pushing at that every day of the week there. There's no way I would have kicked at it. The chances are you could have been put back in, but that's a lot better than having a go and then just giving Cobra a free opportunity here. Maybe not the best of shot choices trying to kick. Well, it's just a case of how long is Rosin going to stay in touch? Is he going to get more assistance from Cobra, or is he going to start playing? Go back into the lead, and it's back to square one for Cobra, trying to build up this comfort zone. Well, 5 ball up top right. 1 ball into the side. Now, there is a path into a gap between the 3 and 9 here. Let me have a look. I think there is a path. Yes, there is. So you cut that in and you spin around and come around into this gap here. So this is all about touch, doing it that way. He's going the other way. He's putting loads of right English on it. And I suppose you could have finished up there doing it my way as well. The only problem now is, again, he's nailed to the rail. And this is tricky. And he's got the pace pretty good here on the 3 ball. Now, even if he had loads of right English on it, he's just coming back to the rail and out. If he had loads of right English on it and he went forward and bumped into the 9, he would still have the cut in the 4, but he's played it with the draw to take anything like that out of the shot. Now, the important one. Again, a bit straight, but can use that angle off the long rail, and he doesn't want to hook himself behind the 8. He doesn't want to do that, and I think he's okay. Well, I think Tony Drago's got the record for the fastest century in snooker. I think that was 3 minutes. It took him, just over 3 minutes it took him to get the fastest century in professional snooker. And I think it's on YouTube, as a matter of fact. So we're back to square one for the second time. We've got Cobra now with a 2-rack lead, looking to build on it. So the first time around, he didn't get it done. And he needs this break and run right now to stretch his lead if he can. Try and take this match away from Rosin. And look at this, 3 or 4 balls in the break. Pretty much perfect in the 1 ball. Might be slightly the wrong side, but he's got loads of room to go on the 2, so this rack's gone. This is exactly what he wanted. You've had the 3 ball, the 6, the 7 on the break, nicely on the 1. Good morning to Sergaresh. I'm surprised the amount of people are on here at this time of day. I'm thinking it would have been just me and my monkey. That's a Beatles song, isn't it? Is that off the White Album? Somebody will remind me. I know it's off the White Album. I've got all the albums. I just can't remember what one it's on. I think it's the White Album, is it? Or it's not Abbey Road. I think John Lennon sings it. Yeah, I wouldn't be in the stream, Rosin. That's never a good sign. It's never good. You've still got a match to win. So Cobra's got his objective. For the first time, he has a 3-rack lead. Excellent break in the last rack. Couldn't do anything but run out. Now this time, I don't think, the 5 ball seriously thought about it. But it is dry. Well, it's hampered by the queuing. He can obviously cut the 1 over to the 5. The thing is whether he's going to be able to see the 1 ball, depending where the cue ball finishes. Because that 8 ball's in the way. And Cobra's had a smack. Now, this table is now wide open with that shot. And this is the type of situation where Rosin has to deal with it. And again, a bit fortunate the 1 ball's come back into play. No problem getting in the 2. 3 ball over the side, 4 into the opposite side. This is all about touch. And he didn't want to go that direction. But then again, been hampered and having to impart English on it to control the cue ball better made the shot a lot more difficult. He still get the thin cut though. And that's not bad. Should be good to go for the 3 and 4. But he wants to finish this bottom side of the 4. And that'll do. Just a dead weight drop. Again, he's going too fast for my liking. Just needs to temper that pace. Needs to get the 6 ball to the hole though. You need to go faster than that, and that's a big mistake. Well, that's going to really settle Cobra down when Rosin's missing shots like that. Well, another great break from Cobra. The 4 and 5 have gone. He's got a little stun in the 1 ball if he wants to just drop behind the 2 and play it into this bottom right hand corner. He could be coming down below the 2. Looks as if he's... No, he is trying to get on the line. And that'll do it. Well, Cobra's given this a lot of thought. He's dead straight, that's the reason. He's absolutely dead straight. And he's trying to make sure he doesn't hook himself behind the 8. He's done that. And now he needs to get into the cue ball. He either needs a fair bit of left English or he needs to spin it sort of tightish into the corner so he's coming this way for the 6. We'll soon find out what he's doing. He's trying to get in and around the corner sharpish like that. Although the pace is a bit heavy. He's overhit that a wee bit, but he may well just take his medicine, catch the 9 ball possibly, and leave a long 7. He's not going to be overly ambitious with this shot. This is just get the 6 in the hole and take what you've got. And that'll do it. That's all he needed to do. Well, Mal was in the lobby earlier on. I think he was only in and found that he had to have an update, and I don't know whether he came back. Oh dear. Well.
Let's watch the replay of that last shot.
I had given him that right. Oh, that's the wrong button.
Bowling alleys, just pool, nothing else.
That's not my replay button. I should have probably looked at my numpad there. Oh, well, there's an unexpected gift, a bit of charity from Cobra. And Rosin's got the 6 ball eventually. The 2 ball is in an awkward spot. 1 ball doesn't have a pocket. But he can tuck this 1 ball thin and get distance. Try and get it in behind the 8 ball and run for cover. And that's not the shot I would have played. The thin edge in that 1 ball was far more attractive to me. Going off the right side of it and pushing it along the top rail. You'd have much better distance there. I don't think he's left anything simple here. Cobra just trying to duck and dive. And now Rosin's found out what ends up happening when you don't get a decent safety in. Now, there is trouble ahead, of course, and it's the 7 and 8 ball. Quick look up at them. Oops, if I can get my donut to work. Yep, the 7 ball isn't going anywhere. So Cobra has a big problem here in negotiating this table. And he's not got a ball handy that's up there near the 7 and 8 to get into them. So the shot is going to be, he's trying to spin and get a hit there. I mean, he'd no guarantee he'd be on the 4 ball, and he hasn't. So he's going to take the risk that Rosin's not going to be able to do much when he gets to the table. Well, the danger here with this shot is I don't know whether he can hit this full in the face and try and duck behind the 5. And that's a foul. He's hit the 5 on the way up. And again, there's a lack of concentration here. I don't think Rosin's heart's in this. I'm getting that impression. I don't think he thinks he's got a chance. But he's not going to have a chance if he does stuff like that, because that's pretty dumb. But again, the good thing is he didn't do anything with the 7. So he's got the angle to get the cue ball running. Now he doesn't want to go too narrow. He wants to hit that top rail just past the middle diamond, a bit like this. That is perfect. That is exactly the line he wanted. He just didn't get the roll. But there is a bank on here. He's looking to spin behind the 8 ball here, check the cue ball off the edge of the 7. And that'll do it. Again, sensible. I mean, he could have took the risk in the bank and then ended up maybe gifting the rack to Rosin, and he's not in the mood for giving any more gifts, I don't think, Cobra. Why do that when you can get your opponent in trouble? Let him try and deal with a problem. And in the end, it was the right shot. Cobra's going to stretch the lead, and he's going to be in double figures. But Cobra's made his little errors. Probably still far too many for his own liking. Because Cobra knows that, deeper into the tournament, there are players around here that are going to capitalise on anything that's given to them. So now the gap goes to 4 for the first time, I think. Well, 2 ball and a 6 ball have gone. 1 ball is on. 3 ball right in the middle of the table. 4 ball goes past the 5, I think, comfortably. Well, no, the more that I look at it, not quite so comfortable. But you look at it from there, if you're on it here, you've no problem. So the 4 ball is a problem. And there's another problem. He's missed a cut in the 1. Another mistake from Cobra. Unforced error. And possibly got away with it. But that is unlucky because getting that full in the face, the spin was always taking the cue ball in the pocket. And Cobra's escaped here. Now he's got ball in hand. He's just going to roll right in line on the 4 and cheat it slightly past the 5. And now he's laughing. He's fine. Yeah, I think if you're going to be critical of Rosin, a bit more application, a wee bit more time to think and assess something, and he would have been a lot more solid, or he can become a lot more solid, because there's been racks up for grab here, And these one or two errors that Cobra's had have assisted Rosin in getting those 6 racks. But if I'm Rosin and I'm about to go 11-6 down, well, there's another one from Cobra. And these errors are coming thick and fast here from Cobra. Now, Rosin's lining up the 8-9 combo. And, well, the saving grace there is he's almost got away with it. Now, is Cobra trying to duck behind the 9, or is he going to grab the bull by the horns and go for the bank? Because it's not that easy to get this very safe. Yeah, he's gone for the bank. Now he's hoping it rolls outward, and it's rolled outward. But it is a good chance for Rosin to rescue a rack here. But again, when you're playing the shot to pot the 8 ball, you've got to play to get on the 9. And he didn't really play to get on the 9. That's no good. And this is why you've got to, the thinking processes have to be functioning. And what you're hoping to do here, and now it's gone. It was a slim opportunity, but it's gone. Well, Cobra's made a whole bucket load of errors here. Yeah, though, he's getting away with it. He's getting away with it. But this could be an ugly scoreboard for Cobra if he's up against one of the top guys. He could have been in dire trouble here. But the gap is now 5. The break was dry. Rosin's got a shot in the 1. Now, if he runs up the table and bumps anywhere near the 6 and 7, he'll have the shot in the 2. He's just a wee bit short. Now again though, the angle is such that he can cut the 2. Doesn't want to hook himself behind the 5. And he doesn't want to hook himself behind the 5. So the commentator's eye has got it right again. I mean, that's the little voice working in my head. When you're watching the shot, you see the line the cue ball's going, and you know there's a danger ball within the region of the path the cue ball's going to finish. Then you have to be making sure you're taking care of that. So Cobra is off the hook again. What's he done here? He might be okay. I thought he was going to. I thought he's. Yeah, no, he isn't okay. He has got himself hooked. But the problem's dealt with. Is he going to have a shot in the 6? Not really. Well, I think we'll need to get Cobra's assessment on his performance in this match. I don't think it will be that good. He'll be very critical. So this rack is eventually decided. Well, we'll give him the 9. We'll give him the 9 ball. What I want to look at is, if I can find it, is that Cobra is going to be playing at the moment on the scoreboard. It looks as if he's going to be playing either LS3 or Spectre on. So That is going to be a step up either way. Ball in the break, 8 ball has gone. No shot in the 1, but he can use the 6 ball and duck for cover way up table here. He'll be unlucky not to get cover. There's balls to hide behind. And that hasn't done him any harm running into the 3, because I think he's got a full ball snooker on this one. Well, that end result isn't too bad. Quick look that way, doesn't go past the 8. Dodgy thin cut into the side, cue ball running all over the shot. No idea where it's going. Well, because I was online after that match with Stubb once that Slim stream had finished, and I knew that this match was coming up. What I also knew is I didn't have time to prepare a big breakfast. So guess what I had this morning for my breakfast? Oh, there's a shot by Cobra. I had an American breakfast this morning. I had 3 big pancakes, nuked in the microwave, big things the size of a dinner plate. No, I didn't have porridge. I had maple syrup over the top of the pancakes, and I wolfed them down. So that's been my breakfast this morning. And I've got another, I think I've got another at least 3 or 4 of those pancakes left for my next breakfast tomorrow morning. Well, there's a shot. 3 ball goes in as well, which is probably unfortunate because he would have liked the 3 ball to stay in the table to get back up for the 4. Now he's got all out for the pot, and that was well done. And he's got a perfect angle in this 5 to dig into the cue ball, use the rail. He doesn't want to go near the side pocket though. Oh dear, the numpty shot. He had to get the spin. No, he had to get the spin in the cue ball to take that side pocket out of the equation, and he didn't see it coming. The commentator did. And again, that's a basic error. You know, it's just something that you know is online, so therefore you have to put that little bit of the little bit of bottom and a tad of left English on it just to alter that line of the cue ball. And that's a big fail there by Rosin. But, you know, the learning process is all part of the game for him. And you would think the next time there's a shot like that, he'll remember how to avoid that and how to take that side pocket out of the line. Is pikelets not just little pancakes or something? I've never really heard of crumpets. Yes, that's what I thought. But you can't beat pancakes with maple syrup over the top of them. That's lovely. Nice and warm just out the microwave. So it's a comfortable lead for Cobra, and you would think it's just a matter of time. But there's been more than I'll say that again. You couldn't count Cobra's errors in one hand here. You're using both hands and maybe the odd toe. Well, he's got to get the power into this to get that cue ball out of there. And that's well controlled. Very well controlled. And again, he's going to be home and dry here for an 8-rack lead. No, can't be bothered making them myself. I'd much rather keep somebody in business by just buying them and nuke them in the microwave. Well, he's gone a bit straight in the 8 ball. He's fine. So, Cobra's definitely broke the back of this match now. It's just that the inevitable is going to happen. And as long as the 9 ball stays out of the way, he's going to have a shot in the 1. The 2 ball has gone. And I think it's a good enough angle to either finish short, i.e. someone like there, or try and be more accurate and get into the gap. And he's going to leave it short. Now, the problem with leaving it short is look at where the 4 ball is. You know, this is no good. Had he got into that gap, it would have been far easier. And now he's relying on getting a nice bounce in the 4 and having a shot. Well, that was well done. Good recovery. I had another subscriber last night to my YouTube channel. I'm now up to 601. Oh, another reminder for anybody who hasn't been on the stream the last couple of days, please go to my YouTube channel and click on the community tab, and then you can place your vote for the next league season and what match, what game type you'd prefer. The more votes, the better. As far as that goes, I think last night we had about 15 votes, but that's nowhere near enough. And I think 8 Ball World had taken the lead on the 9-foot table. There's 8 Ball World on the bar table, which not a lot of people are interested in, and that's a disappointing thing for Steve, because he'd much rather see it in the bar table. And you still might have it in the bar table if he has his own way, which he's liable to do. There is also 6 Ball and 3 Ball, and I think 6 Ball got 1 vote. And Cobra recovers well. And that's head and dry again this time. But he's got away with it. Now again, there's a push out on. It would have done no harm to push out up to the top right of the table. The Rosin just went for the jump to get the hit in the 1. And problem with this is the distance between the cue ball and the 1 and the thin cut into the side, the cue ball running up and down the table. I'm not convinced he'll even go for the cut. Yeah, he's just trying to duck. Well, Rosin now has a cut up table. Well, he's trying to power it into the side, and that's what Cobra's just waiting on. He's just waiting on the mistake. And the mistake's been made. And now, the only thing that can worry Cobra is the 5 ball. Try and get onto this 2. And that's again well controlled. 3 ball though, looks a bit testy. Because that 3 ball is nailed to the rail. Well, it's coming up in a decent line to give himself the best chance to push this down the rail. He's going to have to just hit it a wee bit because he wants to come back slightly for this 4 ball. He wants to give himself room with the cue ball here. Now I think, let me have a look. Well, you can easily dig into the cue ball here and just spin this in and come that way. He's got to jack up a bit, but it shouldn't be a problem. You just sort of try and drag off the pace, but again, he's trying to come on the short side of the 5, where I thought you could have just dragged it up the table, but he hasn't done it again, and he's missed the 4. Well, Cobra has missed something that's not necessarily the most difficult shots, but then again, like I say, these this inability to take full advantage by Rosin, Cobra's now in a big comfort zone. He can make mistakes and he's going to get away with them now, as he has been for the last few racks. So I think this is the. I mean, I've never seen Rosin around at all. I don't know how new he is to VP4, but you know, again, fair play to him playing in the tournament, but he's finding out how difficult it is to be in a competitive nature in these type of tournaments over, you know, a big run, a race to 19 against a player of Cobra standards. Maybe that win over Potman. Well, as I say, I think Potman must have played a big part in his own downfall in that, to lose so heavily. So it's another one on the board. 3 away. Well, as far as I can see, he had a good chance early on. And too much of a hurry to play shots, not really focusing and putting as much into the effort of the shot as I would have maybe liked to see. Well, Cobra's not got the 1 ball running far enough here. Now, that cue ball needed a bit of left English on it there to try and kill it on the top rail. But again, he's sort of got away with it. But you were probably trying to keep the cue ball somewhere in this area. Now, that 2 ball is in the way of the kick, I think. And suddenly this is tough to hit. Well, the line isn't there. So he's trying to nail the 8 to the 2. Well, that shows a little bit of sense. But with ball in hand, Cobra's just going to bump the 8. And he's got away with that. Had to get that tighter, but Cobra still broke it out. Six ball looks as if it's off this bottom rail, and it is. And he's got the nice little angle on the 5. Again, everything's about angles. The angle for the 6. Just roll the 8 up the table. And he's quite happy to leave the longer 9. But then again, oh, it's Rosin that's at the table. I thought it was Cobra. I wish I would pay attention, Larry. Well, Cobra's came into the room, but he's seen enough. Not Cobra. I'm mixing up players' names now. Bill. This is what happens when you're glancing across at the chat in case you miss something, and then you look back and suddenly it's changed. Now it's definitely Rosin that's at the table. So the little dinky combo, and he's almost killed the 2 dead in the rail, but he's fine. Well, now you duck for cover. So the objective now for Rosin is to try and get to 10, but even that looks a tall order. Oh, that wiped its feet. But again, a nice angle in the 5, just to stun across on the right side of the 6. Don't know whether he's... I think the angle's fine that he can stun up past the 8 and miss it. Yeah. So, Cobra will be on the hill. And in a match that started an hour and 17 minutes ago, it's going to be a comfortable win for Cobra eventually, but not necessarily a very pleasing win for Cobra, or a pleasing performance, because he knows he's been a bit slack, too many errors, but not that he was taking any liberties with Rosin. You know, he wasn't doing what Stump does. He just was he was making those mistakes that he knows. In his next match, he ain't going to get away with them. So he knows that. He's well aware of that. Now, the little combo. And this match will be over. So, the reminder to those of you watching, if you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, we've got 2 matches today. This one, well, we actually had 3. And the one with Stubb and Linus earlier on, but I didn't stream it. Slim streamed that. If you want to watch it, it's on Slim's Twitch channel. But we've also got the big match tonight with Albinario and Bedhead. 7 PM GMT, 2 PM Eastern, 11 AM Pacific. So well done to Cobra, but there is room for improvement. Just needs to get the final touches done. He'll probably rip into himself when this match is finished. So, final opportunity. Now, there's a gap between the 5 and 8. the 7 might be in the way with the cue ball running. Oh, he's went for the bank. Well, it turned out the 5 was in the way. I thought he was going to play the cut and let it run through the gap, but he went for the bank, got the bank, but too much traffic in the way. Yeah, I hope everything's all right, Mooncake. Well, that 3 ball is going to crack into the pocket. And now he's going to nail Rosin. I mean, I don't think he's playing the combo, is he? I think it'd be just as easy to bury him here. Well, it's an easy kick on the 4 ball. And the 4 ball cracking to the side pocket is going to catch the point. Well, here's a little tester for Cobra. Now, the natural angle of this 4 takes you around the table, right down onto this very tight spot in the 5 ball. Now, he could come off the top rail with loads of left. I don't know whether he can do that. It looks too thin. Well, I don't think he'll refuse. Let's have a look. How's the line look? No, it's not great. He's going for the cut. Needs a roll with the 6 ball. Well, it's just slightly off the rail, but he'll be thin cutting it in. Got to see the 7 ball into a pocket somewhere in the table. And that'll do. That's perfect. Well, if you were going to give Cobra a report card, I would give it as a C performance. I mean, he's got the result, which is at the end of the day is all that matters. So, well done to Cobra.
Outside, never mind.
And that one was for Rosin. Big ask there he had, and he could have got to double figures. There's no doubt about that. But it does look a comfortable win in the end for Cobra. But having seen the match, we've seen where Cobra's made a whole bucket load of errors, and he's been lucky to get away with it in that sense. So now we know that Cobra is going to play the winner of LS3 Inspector Dawn. And our match of interest for later on tonight is the match between Bedhead and Albinario. Now, I called it 19-16 to Bedhead. I'm sticking with that. And we'll see if Bedhead can get one over on Albinario. Now, where will Albinario go or Bedhead go if they lose? Well, they will head over to play Billy Bigrigger. So that's a big step up for Billy Bigrigger. Billy Bigrigger's time in the tournament might be running out if he plays either of those two, which he's going to. Stubb, of course, as we've said, he's had... I mean, it's gone as predicted. He's come through against Linus. A race to 13. If Rosin can keep himself in it, you know, and if, I mean, how much of a liberty is Stubb going to take in that match than he did against Linus? I mean, Linus ended up getting 6 racks, and if Stubb had actually played the game properly, Linus might have been lucky to get 3. Rosin's not Rosin, Rabbi will have a chance if he can take advantage of it, and if he watched any of that match. So I mean, Stubbs still going to be favourite, and then as I said, Mr. Fox will be favourite in those two matches. Bigger test for him against Hazard, no doubt, but lined up for the possibility of playing Stubb deeper into the tournament. So, no more waffle from me. Unlucky to Rosin. But it's a tough ask. But you definitely don't want to be messing about in streams when you're trying to focus in a match. So I am going to bid you good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you can join us later on. Steve said he'll be there. I'll be there in good time for the match tonight at 7 p.m. So till then, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and if I can remember how my buttons work here, let me try that one.
Good night, ladies.
There you go.